Okay, so I want to take you through some examples at real time, but before I do that, I need to take you through the exceptions that I mentioned before. I had talked about the fact that there are 6 exceptions, and if we go to that table, you'll see they are even numbers that are 0 or 1, 40, 41, 60, 61, and 80, 81. And they're exceptions because if you remember the rules, I said, for example, let's take the 60s as an example here. Numbers that begin in the 60s have an adjusting number of 7 or 8. And sure enough, most of the numbers in the 60s do have an adjusting number of 7 or 8. But 60 and 61 come before 7. They actually have an adjusting number of 6. Same thing for the 40s. It's either 2 or 3. But if you look, 40 and 41 have an adjusting number of 1. How do you deal with that? It really is common sense. Remember how I said 36? Well, you know just by thinking about it, it's 2 more than 34. Well, if I were to tell you 32, you know that's 2 less. That's what you're doing, is you're working backwards based off the signposts that you already know. And let me give you an example. The target number is 81. Let's go through the steps again. 80 is an even number, so it will end in either 2 or 6 if it has a 0 remainder. Well, this one, 81, ends in 1. 81 falls 1 less than our 82 signpost, which has an adjusting number of 12. I ate a dozen donuts. Well, 1 just to the left, you move just to the left, and if 82 has an adjusting number of 12, the one number before it has to have an adjusting number of 11 and a remainder of 3, because if you had 1 more, you'd get 12. Same thing for 80. You would think 80 begins with an even number if it ends in 2 or 6. Well, it ends in 0, which is 2 less than 2. So it has an adjusting number of 11 and a remainder of 2. That's it. You're either going to have 1 less or 2 less than the signpost that you know. So for those exceptions of 40, 41, 60, 61, and 80, 81, you're either going 1 to the left or 2 to the left. But it's so close to what you already know that you can just quickly adjust your knowledge to come up with the correct adjusting number and remaining number. So those are the exceptions. So with that knowledge, let's go on to some real-time examples.